Imagine a man who lived life on the edge, with a devil-may-care attitude that left his competitors trembling in fear. A man whose smile could light up a room, but whose fist could knock you out cold. This is the story of the playboy who conquered the world of motorcycle racing. With his undeniable charisma and charm, he captured the hearts of fans from all corners of the globe. No wonder he left his mark on the sport forever. But before delving into the video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Sheen's rise to racing stardom. Barry Sheen, the man who made motorcycle racing interesting. With his daring riding style and devil-may-care attitude, he quickly became a fan favorite worldwide. He was like the James Bond of the racing world, but with more leather and less gadgets. Sheen's fans would do anything to get a glimpse of him, even if it meant hiding in the bushes outside his house. With fearlessness on the track and an irresistible charm off it, he embodied a duality that was both admirable and captivating. He had a smile that could melt a gearbox and a sense of humor that made even his competitors laugh. Sheen was the complete package, and the media couldn't get enough of him. They would follow him around like a pack of paparazzi, hoping to catch him doing something outrageous. In 1968 and 1969, Sheen raced a Suzuki to multiple wins and podium finishes in the 125cc and 250cc classes. He was like a blur on the track, leaving his competitors wondering if he had attached a rocket to his bike. The only thing that could slow him down was a speed camera. In 1969, Sheen won his first British championship in the 125cc class. He was only 19 years old at the time. In 1970, Sheen secured a coveted spot on the Yamaha factory team and propelled himself to new heights of success. Sheen quickly established himself as a serious contender in the World Championship. The following year, Sheen won his first Grand Prix race in the 500cc class and finished the season in second place overall. It was in this very moment that he began to weave his magic into the fabric of the public consciousness. He captured the collective imagination in a way that others couldn't. Say thanks to his fearless racing style and his larger-than-life personality. Sheen was a natural showman, always ready with a quip or joke, and his popularity soared as a result. By 1971, Sheen was a bona fide superstar, known around the world for his talent and his charisma. He was one of the most exciting riders on the circuit, with a riding style that was both aggressive and graceful. Fans loved him for his willingness to take risks, and for the way he seemed to dance on the edge of disaster with every race. As the world watched in awe at Sheen's daring and skill on the racetrack, little did they know that there was one woman who had captured his heart. Guess who that charming woman was? Stephanie was a stunning model who caught Sheen's eye at a photo shoot in the mid-1970s. The two quickly began dating and were soon inseparable. Stephanie was a constant presence at Sheen's races, cheering him on from the sidelines and supporting him through the ups and downs of his career. Her beauty and charm only added to Sheen's allure. She had a beauty that could make a rose blush and a charm that could make a puppy wag its tail. Also, the couple became one of the most talked about in the world of motorsports. However, as with many high-profile relationships, their romance was not meant to last. In 1984, after several years together, Sheen and Stephanie called it quits. The breakup was a difficult time for Sheen, who had always been open about his love for Stephanie. Despite the heartache, Sheen remained focused on his racing and continued to push himself to the limit on the track. Yes. Let's leave the drama to the Kardashians and focus on the exciting world of motorsports, shall we? Barry Sheen's signing with Yamaha in 1972 proved to be a game changer. Despite facing challenges that results in a 5th place overall finish that season, Sheen never lost sight of his goals and remained determined to improve. His unwavering commitment paid off the following year when he emerged victorious in his first ever Grand Prix race in the 500cc class. This triumph was a significant milestone for Sheen, signaling the start of a period of immense success and accomplishment. But wait, just as Sheen's career was taking off, a dark cloud loomed on the horizon. In 1973, the world of motorcycling would experience one of its darkest days. Here's what happened on the darkest day in motorcycling. 1973 was also a year of great tragedy for motorcycle racing. During the Isle of Man Double T race, a number of riders were killed in a horrific accident. It was a dark day for the sport, and it left a lasting impression on Barry Sheene. Luckily, Sheene escaped with only minor injuries, but the experience left a lasting impression on him. Sheene was deeply affected by the tragedy, and he became a vocal advocate for improving safety standards in motorcycle racing. He worked tirelessly to push for changes that would make the sport safer for riders. In fact, his efforts helped to bring about significant improvements. From better protective gear to more rigorous safety checks, Sheene's legacy is one of making the sport of motorcycle racing safer for all who participate. Barry Sheene wasn't going to let a disappointing season get him down in 1973. He had a point to prove, and boy did it in 1974. With a renewed sense of focus and determination, he absolutely dominated the 500cc class, winning an impressive 5 Grand Prix races and snagging the first World Championship title. But wait, there's more. Sheene also ventured across the pond to the United States and won the notoriously difficult Daytona 200 race. That's right, he became the first British rider to claim the crown. This win was no small feat, and it solidified Sheene's spot as a legend in the world of motorcycle racing. However, little did he know that he would soon be involved in one of the most dramatic crashes in sports history. Before delving into that, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Let's dive into a crash that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Hold on to your helmets, folks. In 1975, Barry Sheene experienced one of the most intense and dramatic crashes in the history of motorcycle racing. While racing in the Daytona 200, he was zooming at an astonishing speed of over 170 miles per hour. This is when his rear tire gave out, and he was sent crashing down to the ground. It was a jaw-dropping impact that left Sheene with a broken left thigh and several bones in his right foot. Barry Sheene wasn't one to let a broken left thigh and several bones in his right foot get in the way of his passion for motorcycle racing. In fact, he was back on the track just 6 weeks after his dramatic crash in Daytona 200. It's like he was saying, "Injuries? Ha! I laugh in the face of injuries." And Sheene's determination paid off. In 1976, he returned to the 500cc class with a vengeance, winning 3 Grand Prix races and finishing on the podium in 6 others. He was definitely saying, "Hey, I may have had a close encounter with the pavement, but I'm still the same old Barry." But Sheene wasn't content to rest on his laurels. He knew that the competition would be fierce in 1977, with riders from all over the world vying for the coveted 500cc World Championship title. Once again, he rose to the challenge. Sheene won 4 Grand Prix races that year and finished on the podium in 7 others, cementing his status as one of the greatest riders of his generation. And yet, one of the rivalries had an impact on his career. The two riders had been fierce competitors for years, and their rivalry reached a fever pitch in 1978. Let's talk about Kenny Roberts' rivalry. The 1978 season was marked with the intense rivalry between Barry Sheene and his American counterpart, Kenny Roberts. Their competitive spirit and hunger for victory were fueled by their mutual desire to become the world champion. As the season progressed, their rivalry intensified, and the two riders became the focus of attention for fans around the world. Although Sheene ultimately finished the season in second place behind Roberts, he had proven himself to be one of the most competitive and skilled riders in the world. He won 4 Grand Prix races, including a thrilling victory at the Dutch Double T, and demonstrated his ability to perform under pressure. Despite the disappointment of finishing as the runner-up, Sheene's performances in 1978 cemented his status as one of the greatest motorcycle racers of all time. The 1979 British Grand Prix at Silverstone is widely regarded as one of the greatest races of the modern era. Sheene was in top form, battling against his arch-rival Roberts in a race that saw the two riders swap the lead several times. Sheene emerged victorious, winning the race by just 0.14 seconds. After a tough start to the 1980 season, Sheene's return to Yamaha proved to be a triumphant one. His persistence and hard work paid off, as he gradually regained his form and won 2 Grand Prix races that year. The 1982 season would prove to be a challenging one for Sheene. At Silverstone, he was involved in a massive crash that left him with a broken thigh, wrist, and ribs. Despite the severity of his injuries, Sheen remained determined to recover and return to racing. His fans held their breath as they waited for updates on his condition and cheered him on as he worked tirelessly to regain his strength. The 1983 season was a difficult one for Sheen, as he faced several injuries that forced him to withdraw from races. In 1984, Sheen announced his retirement from racing after being diagnosed with cancer. He continued to work in the sport, becoming a successful commentator and pundit for British television. Sheen's diagnosis was a shock to the racing community, but he continued to fight the disease with characteristic bravery and determination. He underwent several rounds of chemotherapy and radiation, but sadly, his cancer was terminal, and he passed away in 2003. What a remarkable career and life Barry Sheen had. His tenacity on the track was only matched by his resilience off of it. It's no wonder he remains an inspiration to many in the world of racing. If you enjoyed watching, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you have any thoughts or memories of Sheen, we would love to hear them in the comments below. Let's keep his legacy alive.